is Jörg Fokeli. I'm one of the directors, the co-director of Keep the Promise, the documentary that we're playing.
I'm Mark Smolowitz, and I've been making films for over 20 years. And we kind of came together to make films about HIV and AIDS as a labor of love. For us, films about HIV and AIDS are often in front of the LGBT community, and so for us to be world premiering here at Vail, I think is a good boost for us. Get this in front of an audience and the potential for this thing to be seen, nationally.
Every one of us has to answer for ourselves what the promise is that we intend to keep.
We have to keep this promise because this promise is our life, our hope, and our future.
The film is a collaboration between our organization, the HIV Story Project, and AIDS Healthcare Foundation. They provide services for people living with HIV and AIDS around the world. They open clinics, they provide medication, etc. So they have the stories. And we're the guys who know how to make films. So we collaborated with them on this. They provided the story for us. They helped us finance it. And together we made this film to, remind people that HIV and AIDS in this country is fairly treatable and people live long, healthy lives with it. But worldwide, it's still a huge problem. There's still a lot of parts of the world where people are getting infected. And as we know, even in this country, there's still communities where the disease is still pretty rampant.
I do believe that the march is going to make a difference. I believe that there's power in numbers.
We came from everywhere, more than 50 countries.
Hello, Washington!
To let our government officials know that they must keep their promises to fund AIDS research, treatment, and prevention.
We covered a major stage show, which has lots of celebrities, that was basically, a global protest to kind of remind the world about the global AIDS crisis.
Marching on Washington to remind politicians that we vote for them.
The war against AIDS has not been won, and now is not the time to retreat.
I lost so many friends to that disease. And John and Dennis, I'm marching for you today.
The AIDS crisis is not over. We need to keep the promise.
It's a very special small film, so it needs that extra bit of support, that extra bit of handling everywhere we go with it.
I don't care what color, what country, I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're gay, lesbian, I don't care if you're bisexual, transgender, we in this together.
Keep the promise, keep the promise, keep the promise.
Visualize these stats in a really kind of powerful motion graphics and animation space with a very talented animator. And I think that what we wanted to do is kind of take these numbers that are kind of overwhelming and just make them clear for audiences. It can be very overwhelming to hear about a lot of death and disease, and it's not easy to sit through, but we try to use the motion graphic space to kind of make them more informative and let people kind of think.
I want to see everybody jump the whole place, the entire place, the whole place.
Like Mark said, we want to put a face on these numbers because, when you hear millions of people are infected or people are dying, it is so abstract, so that's why we have these people from around the globe who are in Washington, D.C. news stories we hear. And the fact that they are living and thriving, and then when people do get on the medications, the fact that they are living long, healthy lives at this point is very, very encouraging. There's certainly hope in that, and the stigma is obviously still a big thing. You see people in this film that are fighting the stigma in their communities and that are trying to make a difference by living out in the open about their HIV status, or by supporting people that are in their family or friends that are HIV positive.
Today is the beginning of the rebirth of AIDS activism in this country and across the world.